What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. I hope you are all doing very well. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We are going to talk about Ellie Shaman, baby. We're going to do our first Ellie Shaman video. This is my sick T-Mog I got going right now. The tier shoulders look very, very cool. Going to talk about my progress so far with Elemental Shaman, and we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you a dungeon, a 16 Everbloom that I did this week on Tyrannical Week, with the build that I'm currently running, and what I think about Elemental Shaman in the current kind of landscape of Mythic Plus. I did want to do this with the Waycrest Manor key that I did, but it was only a 14, but we still did quite a bit of damage overall, and it's only going to get better. I'm going to talk about why it's going to get better. We'll get into the video in a second. So here's my character right now and the stats that I have and the gear that I'm rolling with. So I have about 40% haste and 47 mastery. I need to get more mastery, of course, so that we have more chances to overload, so that our lava bursts are going to overload more with the new tier set bonus. I'm rocking 2 set right now with the shoulders and the chest. I'm rocking 2 set of the new tier and no old tier. So if I had 2 and 2, I would be getting Stormkeeper every 50 seconds. Excuse me, but I'm not getting that. So the item level on a lot of the gear that I'm getting so far has just been much, much higher than my old tier. It was at 447, and I'm now 461, right? We're getting up there. So the eye level is just worth it in my mind. I still need to get my rings upgraded. I don't have any better rings right now. But almost every other piece of gear that I have is like 454, 460, 473. My shield is 489. Got this sucker out of the vault. This was insane. It's got Leech and Haste Mastery, which is what we want. And then I just got this dagger last night. Actually, I have a different dagger that I will put on. I don't know where it is. I got a weapon somewhere. Let's go. Is it a dagger? Is it right there? I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. It's a mace that I got, I think. Somebody gave it to me. Let's just put that sucker on. There it is. So I actually have a 467 mace. So there we go. I'm actually 462. So there you go. This is my current gear right now. I'm running with Oakheart's Gnarled Root, which is just because I don't have a better trinket right now. I do have Balefire Branch, but I've been looking at Blood Mallet, and it has not been looking good for Balefire. Let's go really, really quickly to Ellie Shaman. Let's look at 5-target cleave. I'm in Mythic Plus mostly, right? Balefire is nowhere near the top of this list. It's, in fact, all the way down here, past Ashes, past Time Thief's Gambit. It's all the way down here. They think it's quite bad. Even on, I think, 1 target, it's not good either. Yeah, all the Dark Moon deck stuff is much better. Balefire is, again, way down here. So when we're thinking about trinkets, I'm primarily going to be thinking about getting C-Star. I'm not really going to do the raid very much with this character. So it's C-Star and Coagulated Blood is what I'm looking for. That's why I went and did this Everbloom you're going to see in a second. Vessel is also good. Oakheart's is down here. That's what I'm rocking right now is Oakheart. So it's okay. It's not amazing. In terms of my damage overall, it was actually not bad. 6.2% is pretty good in my opinion, and it's a verse trinket, which means I'm getting a bunch of survivability as well, and I'm still running Ominous. So that's my gear. That's kind of where I'm standing right now. Let's look at the talents. Here's what I'm running right now in all the dungeons that I'm doing. The most popular Ellie Shaman builds right now are running Surge of Power instead of Aftershock. They're not running Ellie Blast, and they're running Wind Speaker's Lava Resurgence, which is very, very good. I understand why they run it. I'm experimenting. I'm cooking. You guys know me. I like to cook. I like to look up these builds and see what's kind of comfortable, what feels fun to play. I really enjoy Skybreakers. I think it's really, really fun. And it gives you sort of this smooth gameplay loop that doesn't exist with the other builds, i.e. your uptime on your Fire Ellie is much, much higher. I know it only says 32% there, but I cast Fire Ellie 22 times in this dungeon, which means when Fire Elemental is up, your Flame Shocks are ticking faster. They're doing damage quicker. Excuse me. And then with Skybreakers, their crit chance is really high, 50% higher. So my Flame Shocks crit 73% of the time, which also reduces the cooldown of Fire Ellie, which gets your Fire Ellie back up and rolling again. It's a really nice quality of life thing. It makes your Flame Shocks tick faster, and it makes your Lava Surge procs happen a lot more often. I had 221 procs of Lava Surge, which is quite a bit there. So I really am enjoying Skybreakers. I ran it for a reason, just to have fun. I like Ellie Blast more than Earthshock. I feel like it ends up doing a ridiculous amount of damage over the course of the dungeon. So I like it a lot better. I think it really helps with single target damage as well, which this is a Tyrannical week. So those are the talents I'm running. The main differences from the normal build are Skybreakers, Aftershock, so that I can continuously get procs on LE Blast back to back, and then I am running LE Blast as well. That's what I'm looking at right there, okay? Let's dive into the dungeon. I want to go through most of this dungeon. This is a plus 16 Everbloom that we ended up running. I did have Hero with me, blasting away on the Paladin. I was only 460, as you can see, at the beginning of this dungeon, so just keep that in mind. I got some gear. I did a bunch of other dungeons afterwards. This is the opening pull. It's generally a really, really big pull, and I don't end up getting the best sort of like, it's not the best for me here. It's okay. We're doing decent damage at the start, but again, not the best. The Pally's going to start popping off here, and then I do get stunned partway through, and we're not kicking all the stuns perfectly, so my damage doesn't have a chance to sort of ramp up. Again, here's what I'm noticing with Elemental Shaman. One of the interesting sort of niches that I think I'm starting to notice here. We also died at bursting. Sorry, I forgot to show that. You can see the other guys are popping off pretty hard. One of the things I'm noticing here on big AoE packs where you're pulling 10 to 15 mobs at a time, our damage is not going to be as good as a lot of the other specs that can do crazy mass AoE damage, like Rep Paladin, most of the rogue specs, Outlaw and Assassination Rogue. Boomkin is really good in those situations. Starfall, hitting everything, right? There's other specs in the game that are much, much better. BM Hunter has Beast Cleave. Even though it's reduced beyond 5, it still hits all these other targets. All of our spells are kind of reduced to that 6-target cleave with our Flame Shock. That's what you're looking at. So here's a pull. That first pull, we didn't do very much damage, right? We only peaked at like 300 or 400k, and then we went right back down again. The Brett Paladin was doing like 500-600k. This pull, we're going to do much better. This is 7 targets. Watch our damage here. The Ret Paladin starts out strong, and then we're at 90k, and then boom, we're kind of popping off 250, 283, 400. Now we're keeping up with them. I do even get stunned, which is really sad. Didn't break it right away, but we're staying competitive on these kinds of pulls because this is 6 to 7 targets. 6 targets is our sweet spot. This is where we really get to pop off, and I love that about LE Shaman. It is that little niche right now where you can pop off in those environments. We end up dying to bursting once again. That's really good. I don't ever recommend pulling Gnarl Root. This tank was just kind of on autopilot, and he just pulled Gnarl Root. I would not recommend it. This guy is hella annoying. Do not pull him. He's really, really annoying to deal with. Again, here's the next pack. This is only 5-target cleave. Perfect for us, right? I fire Ellie. I get my Liquid Magma Totem going. I actually messed it up. I should have waited 1 second. I was impatient there. But we're able to hit these 5 targets and do a lot of extra damage. The other guys were popping off in their cooldowns as well, which is really great. But every single pack where there is 6 targets, basically, we're going to be able to do a good amount of damage. That's the great part about LE Shaman. Your cooldowns are so low. You can always kind of get this pop-off with the Flame Shocks going, and then with the big Chain Lightnings. Here's another one. Boom. Look at the damage that we're doing on this pack. Nobody else has cooldowns, so they're not doing as much damage. There, the Rat Paladin finally got his cooldown back. We get a big Lava Beam. I get stunned in the middle of it. That's, of course, always what happens. We get stunned in the middle of it, and we're not able to really catch up. But this is going to be a really good niche you're going to see as we keep going in these different packs. Every single pack, when we have these amount of targets up, it's really good. Now, one button I'm basically never pressing anymore, I don't press it almost ever in any of these dungeons, is Earthquake, which is a little bit strange, but it's just the way it goes. Earthquake is not a button right now that is really worth pressing. It's literally not worth the GCD to press Earthquake. You're better off pressing Earth Shock or LE Blast into another Lava Burst. And this is why the majority of the builds right now are taking the Wind Speaker's Lava Resurgence, because whenever you press Earth Shock or LE Blast or Earthquake, you get a free proc on your Lava Burst, and then you can press Lava Burst again. That will cool down Primordial Wave. You get to press Primordial Wave more often. That's how the loop goes. It's single target spender into Lava Burst spam, into Primordial Wave, and you go back and forth. You keep doing that over and over and over again. That's how the build works. I'm trying a variation with just, obviously, the Flame Shock's ticking quicker. With Skybreakers, it's a little bit of a different feel, but it still can do damage. It still works, and it still prioritizes only pressing the single target spender. That's what you want to do. Earthquake, unfortunately, is just really bad damage right now. It is horrendously bad certainly versus Ellie Blast, but even versus Earthshock. And the fact that Earthshock with Wind Speakers gives you a Lava Burst charge back, that's really the loop that you're kind of looking for there. Our damage is okay, not super great there, but we got stunned like 4 times. Here's the first boss. Remember, this is Tyrannical. The way that I've been doing this boss, the way that people that I've been playing with have been doing this boss, is that you drop the plants in front of Witherbark so that the water orbs actually run into the plants and spawn adds. That's what we've been doing. The first week I wasn't doing that, but we're doing it now. And then those adds don't really do a whole lot, and they stop the water from getting to the boss, which means he doesn't go back into his phase 1. He's in phase 1 right now. We're holding Lust until we get to phase 2. My damage is very low right now because I'm not really going crazy yet with Lust and in P2 when we do double damage. Now I'm about to pop off right here. By the end of this P2, I will be close to the top of the meters, if not at the top, I think. I think I'm very, very close to the Druid once we get there. So haste is so good on Ellie Shaman because you can just cast your spells over and over again. And we're going to be getting so many Lava Surge procs. Watch what happens once I get a second target here. Look at my chain lightning. Just boom. My damage goes crazy right there. A lot of extra damage. And then as soon as we're able to acquire more than one target, here comes my Primordial Wave on a second target. I have about 3 targets now. My damage goes crazy. It just pops right off. And we're able to get more procs on Ascendance so that we can get more Lava Burst cast so we can get our Primordial Wave back. It all loops together. As soon as Ellie Shaman with this new build acquires more than one target, it is really strong. It starts going really crazy, and our damage is now almost right up there with the Boomkin, which is awesome. We love to see that. That's what we're kind of looking at. So we have this interesting, I want to call it like cleave priority funnel kind of way that we play. We're spreading Flame Shocks. They give us Lava Burst procs, and we push those Lava Bursts into one target. Once we get the 4-piece bonus, of course, we're going to be getting Cleave for free. But our Ascendance cleaves. Whenever we proc Ascendance, it sends out Lava Bursts at anybody with Flame Shock. And then our tier set cleaves. So we're just funneling down one priority target, and we're getting a bunch of cleave damage for free, which is a really fun play style, and again, lends itself to smaller packs of mobs. 6 targets with one priority target that we can just blast with our Lava Burst and our Ellie Blast, or Earth Shock, whatever you want to do. We blast that one target, that priority target, and then we're cleaving everybody else, and the damage is really good. Here comes another moment. I spread 3 Flame Shocks, and then boom, my Primordial Wave, and I go, and we're doing lots of damage here. We're able to really, and if we want to, at any point in time, we can get that Stormkeeper Chain Lightning to just nuke a bunch of adds if that's what we want to do. This right here helped us extend this phase, this P2 phase, which where you do more damage. That's what you want to be doing. You want to extend that phase. So I'm really enjoying the play style of Ellie. By the end of that fight, we were just below the Boomkin, which is really good. This tank ended up pulling all this stuff here. One thing I just want to say about Primordial Wave really quickly, if you're worried about the setup for Ellie Shaman, do not be worried, okay? This thing gives you 20% baseline haste now when you press Primordial Wave. If you press Primordial Wave on one target and press Lava Burst, you'll get 20% haste. If you spread 6 Flame Shocks, you're only going to get 4% for each additional Flame Shock. So that's 5 times 4 is 20%. You're only ever going to get an additional... Wait, no, sorry. 5 times 4... 4, 8, 12. Yeah, it's 20. I'm crazy. You're only going to get 40% is the maximum haste value that you can get out of this, okay? So that means that it's actually totally worth it to just have 1 or 2 or 3 targets tagged before you start going crazy into your rotation. Don't worry about having to tag all 6 mobs before you... which is what I did here. I only had 2 mobs tagged with... Flame Shock before I consumed it. So I only got 24% haste. That's okay. The difference between 24 and 40 is not that big of a deal when you're trying to kill mobs quickly. As you climb higher into the Mythic Plus, into the bigger keys, certainly you can try and do a full-blown setup. If you have... I'm healing, Pig. And we're going to die to bursting. If you have Liquid Magma Totem ready to go, then of course you can get all 6 targets tagged and then get your crazy... Primordial Wave window off. Certainly, but I'm just trying to say, practically speaking, if you want to just get into your rotation quicker, it's okay to only basically consume that Primordial Wave and get the lower value haste, because the baseline haste that you get has been brought up dramatically, which is really, really cool. Again, 3 target cleave. I think 3 to 4 target cleave is going to be a really big niche for Ellie Shaman. You're going to see our damage just keeps ramping up and up and up as we have this level of targets. A lot of the other specs in the game that do big damage to like 10 or 12 targets are not going to be doing that kind of damage to 3 targets. So this is going to be our niche, I think, and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to like get into that playstyle and to really become a bit of a specialist. I would call Ellie Shaman a bit of a Mythic Plus specialist at this point. And you're gonna, I know people are gonna argue, well, if the, you know, just pull 25 mobs together and bring all the specs that can kill 25 mobs faster than you, and you're better, you know, they're better than Ellie Shaman. It's like, fair enough, I get that. All the MDI comps, they're not going to be running an Ellie Shaman. I understand that. For the average player with the average tank that only ends up pulling 3 to 6 or 7 mobs at a time, this is going to be really good for you. It's going to suit you very well. You're going to be able to do lots of damage in those environments. Let's be honest. That is the vast majority of the environments that we all play in. When the tank is pulling normally, he's pulling 6 to maybe 10 mobs at a time total. It's rarely going to be on that upper end. It's more likely to be closer to 6 than it is to be closer to 10. So that's realistically how that's going to work. We skip a couple things here, and then we have a really big pop-off moment here, which is super fun. We end up doing a lot of damage. Whenever you get these Stormkeeper moments that turn into Lava Beam, it feels super good, and it's a lot of fun. We end up killing this guy. This is the moment right here, I think. Let me just turn up the volume here. Well, watch this. I get Flame Shock, Primordial Wave. I get a kind of a bad Liquid Magma Totem. I got to work on that second Liquid Magma Totem. Then I consume Lava Burst. I push that guy back in. Then we get a Lava Beam.
Oh, big damage. Here we go.
So right now I have 1 Lava Beam, and then I Stormkeeper into 2 instant Lava Beams that are guaranteed to overload. Watch my damage on the left side. 220, 270, 280, 320, right? Just from those Lava Beams. And we're at the top of the meters. So those are the kinds of moments that you can have, those pop-off moments when you have your Stormkeeper kind of queued up and ready to go, but you're focusing on pressing Lava Burst, and you press Lava Burst, and then boom! You kick into Ascendance, and for 3 seconds, you have enough time to pull off that combo, which is really good. Here's a fantastic boss for Ellie Shaman right here. This is 3 target cleave. This is awesome. So what I would recommend you do, if you're playing Ellie Shaman in this case, make sure you have all 3 bosses tagged with Flame Shock, of course, and then you're going to sit on Tilu. Even if the tank wants to kill the Gola guy first, you're going to sit on Telu with your kick, or Tilu, whatever it is, to make sure that you kick the green spell that he does. He's going to do his channel, his AoE now, which doesn't matter. But now we can send Primordial Wave. I was focusing a little bit too hard on trying to kick him. We have a proc here on Ascendance, which is awesome. Again, you want to just press Lava Burst as much as possible because it cools down Primordial Wave. Look at the cooldown. Primordial Wave 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We're back. We must have it back.
Oh, I'll kick that.
Then we end up getting, I end up kicking the heal, which I should not have kicked, because then I needed my kick up to be ready for Toxic Bloom. That's what you want to sit on. You want to sit on Toxic Bloom for basically the entire fight, and I didn't do it. That was actually my fault. I mean, multiple people were ready to kick the heal on Gola, so I should have just left it and kicked Toxic, but I kind of messed that up, and it's okay. It's okay. We ended up killing that guy. But the 3 target cleave nature of this fight is really strong for us because we can keep that Primordial Wave going, and all the Flame Shocks are going to be ticking and giving us Lava Surge procs like crazy. Also, mobility is required on this fight. You can pop your Spearwalker's Grace like I do right here, and you can keep casting, which is really good. You also have, you could potentially just take Gust of Wind, and you could jump out of that if it's happening. If Entangling's happening this week, of course, you can just take the talent that makes your Ghost Wolf break you out of Entangling and Roots and stuff like that, which I did have. Hero is thankfully freedoming me as well, but you have multiple tools to give you the mobility necessary to do a fight like this, and we end up doing lots of damage on this fight. I think we end at 116k overall, just because we tick so long in the last guy.
Did so much damage. That's insane.
His Beacon did a lot, and then our O-Card. O-Card did 6% there, which is pretty 6.7%. Really good. Then the rest of these packs, again, you can double pull a bunch of these packs, and this is something that we probably should have been doing. We'll end up doing this as we get better at these keys. But we only pull these 3 right here. We could have pulled the next 3 as well. Again, 6 targets is probably as much as you can handle for these pulls with these mages because they have a lot of really dangerous spells, especially on Fortify Week. But that's perfect numbers for an Elemental Shaman. Having 3 to 6 target cleave is very good, and we end up doing a decent amount of damage on all of these packs here. The tank had a big cooldown, which was awesome. He was popping off there. But again, I love the funnel nature here. You get to funnel into these. Maybe I want to kill the Arcanomancer because he's the most dangerous. I can just funnel my LE Blast and my Lava Burst all into this guy, and we're going to get that free cleave, as I talked about before. So we kill this guy. This is the mini boss pack, I would call it. The really buffed up mages before you get to the boss fight. We get a big Lava Beam proc in Ascendance, which is really good. That's another kind of combo you can pull off, is if you press Primordial Wave and you consume it with Lava Burst, you get that big haste window. If that procs your Ascendance, then you have a hasted up Lava Beam proc going on. You can fit like 5 or 6 Lava Beams in that haste window, which is really good. Yeah, you don't want to lust on this chick. You want to just get through this chick. Do not lust her. You want to lust the final boss. This chick's actually very easy once you understand the pattern of what she does in terms of her spells. So she's going to end up casting Fire and then Frost plus Fire. So this is Frost plus Fire right here, Glacial Fusion. There we go. That means you're going to take a lot of damage. You have to avoid the puddles, and then you have to get out of the freezing stuff. Then she's going to do Frost plus Arcane, okay? So I had this in a really bad spot. Everybody's going to get yoinked to my position. I should have been further away from the boss so that people have more time to react to the arcane yoink. So just remember that if you're playing range. Be as far away as you can because you're going to get yoinked, and then I get stuck and I get stunned like an idiot. I could have actually jumped out of that. I just misplayed. So if you're a range player on this fight and you're getting the arcane yoink, then you need to back really far away from the boss. So this next set is going to be Arcane plus Fire. So she does a lot of damage, and then she's going to pull you somewhere. Here comes the yoink. And there you go. I got pulled into the fire. Got to be careful with it. Then the next one, we're back to the first set, which is now going to be Fire plus Ice, I believe, or Arcane plus Ice. It was Fire plus Ice. And then we go Arcane plus Ice, right? Yeah, she's going to yoink us here. Here we go, yoink. And I was far enough away from the ice that it was good to go. And she just keeps cycling. So once you get the cycle down pat, once you get it committed to memory, you'll understand exactly how to handle that chick. And it's very, very easy. Here's a good Liquid Magma Totem into a crazy amount of damage. I do Stormkeeper into Lava Beam just for fun. And our damage is crazy. Just helps us deal with these guys. Again, your cooldowns on LE Shaman are so low that you can really just blast these mobs. And you'll have your cooldowns up for the next boss. It'll be up. Stormkeeper won't be up right away, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Okay, we're running to the last boss. Here we go. Remember, as soon as you enter the portal, this boss fight essentially begins. And then you should lust right away on pull. I waited about 5 seconds for lusting. You should actually just lust on pull. Because, so I lust now. You're going to do damage. You're going to have this first lust up for the first ad. But I actually did it a little bit too late. I should have done it right on pull. So that was a mistake that I made. So here comes the ad. You can see Lust has 24 seconds left. 22, 21, 20 seconds. 19 seconds when the ad spawns. I'm going to pump the ad full of as much damage as I can, especially the LE Blasts. This is where I love having LE Blast. I feel like it does way more damage than Earthshock does. Of course, it does more damage than Earthshock, but I think over even the course of a pull, we're able to pump this ad. Now we got to move and pick up these Genesis things. We still have Lust rolling, so we have 3 seconds of Lust, which is kind of bad, which is why you need to Lust on pull. Don't wait for 3 seconds because you want to have... You don't want to be lusting when you have to run around and pick up those things, right? You don't want to have to do that. Then, here comes the ad once again. I'm saving Primordial Wave. I didn't necessarily need to do this, but I wanted to save Primordial Wave for every single ad spawn. So here comes the ad. I pump Primordial Wave into it. Boom. Then we have Stormkeeper. I'm just pumping it as much as I possibly can. Every LE Blast goes into that thing. Okay. If you have any classes or specs that can pump single target damage on an ad like that, it's really important. Or if you have trinkets like Beacon or like some of the new trinkets like the Naimu one that can just nuke an ad, they're really, really good to get. Now, we get some ads spawning here. I thought it was the end of the world. It's really not the end of the world, actually. This DK just ends up yoinking that guy in. I kick Lasher Venom. That's an important thing to kick, but the DK just ends up CCing people, which is really good, and we end up blowing them up. It's actually not a problem at all. I was kind of worried about it. Here comes the next ad. Once again, I'm ready with Primordial Wave in 3, 2, 1. Primordial Wave goes into the ad. Then we pump the ad with our big haste window as much as we possibly can. Pump, pump, pump that ad. I think somebody like beaconed it or something because it basically just got wrecked.
Okay, never mind. Somebody.
Yeah, we do as much as we can to blow it up. Then we can have Spiritwalker's Grace back again. You can Spiritwalker's Grace and do damage while picking up these things. You can see I'm casting while moving. Very, very nice little tech there for Ellie Shaman. Very awesome. And then we end up just nuking him down while he's spawning the ads. It's a little bit risky. The ads are spawning here, but that's okay. We have enough damage to just kill him. And our damage is inflated. The overall damage is going to be inflated, but the thing to look at is, were we keeping up with everybody else? And the answer is yes, we were. We were keeping up just fine with everybody else. Ret Paladin did a little bit more damage than us, but not by that much. And yeah, we're being competitive. So here's the encouragement I want to give to you Ellie Shamans. Right now, I'm literally only rocking a 2-set bonus. The 4-set bonus is going to add a tremendous amount of damage. A tremendous amount of damage. The 10% additional burn damage that you're going to get from the 4-set bonus is just going to add, like, so much damage to your look at the damage that we did here. My lava burst is 67 million damage. You need to tack on 10% more of that. Okay, that's what the burn is going to do. It's going to do 10% more damage, which means you're going to add about 6.7 million damage, 6.75 million more damage. That's about as much as my Fire Blast from my Greater Ellie. So you're going to get 3% more damage on this overall. That would take us from like 141k per second to about 146k, 147k per second, just getting that extra bonus from the 4-piece. On top of that, you're going to be getting that spread cleave damage after you press Primordial Wave and you consume your next 2 lava bursts. They're going to cleave, which does even more damage and cools down Primordial Wave even faster. So this 4-piece is just going to skyrocket our damage in a really huge way, and I can't wait to get it. I think also once I get one of my better trinkets from Mythic Plus, it's going to be really good as well. We're talking about probably getting something like the Atal Dazar trinket. Let me go to Trinket, go to Mythic Plus. This guy, Vessel's really, really good for us. That's going to be an awesome trinket. Or you can go to Everbloom and get Coagulated. So once I get one of those, instead of having this one here, it's going to be better as well. So guys, if you're discouraged playing Ellie Shaman right now, please don't be. I promise you there's going to be different builds that you can try. You should probably do Wind Speakers because it's a very, very good talent to take. But there are different talent setups that you can try. There's actually a lot of damage. Our damage is very competitive even without having the 4-piece bonus equipped right now. Once we get that, we're just going to be popping off. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I just want to encourage all you guys who are trying out Ellie Shaman. It's going to be good. I promise. You're going to be doing lots of damage in Mythic Plus, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's already fun. I'm having a blast. So let me know what you think in those comments down below. I love you all. Thank you so much again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.